Hello, and welcome to All Eyes on You. This is a podcast where all eyes are on you. You didn't do it with me. Why didn't you do it with me?
All eyes are on you.
On you.
On you.
You.
On you.
Okay, it's not the same anymore. But this is episode 2. If you haven't watched episode 1, then why would you watch episode 2 before your episode 1? I don't know.
I mean, there's no continuation, so if you are doing that, it doesn't really matter.
It might. We might reference something.
It actually might.
Actually, you know what? We did. We're going to reference something. This is important. This is a serialized thing. If you don't watch it in order, you're going to be behind. So you have to go and binge watch everything. Mm-hmm. Everything we do from now on.
You actually missed 6 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, ghost episodes. Episodes where we canonically died.
Something like that.
This is a show.
This is
Everything's
a show.
fake. Nothing is real. We're all put... Okay, that brings me up to something real quick. I keep seeing some stuff online about how everything is like so performed now that we're performing for an invisible audience.
Oh, yeah.
We're like literally, when just going out to a store now at this point, we're like performing for an invisible audience.
Yeah.
And like, it's got me thinking like a lot more, just because like, if everyone is just constantly performing for an invisible audience, no one's real.
Yeah, is anybody ever truly themselves?
I mean, no, if you think about it, you know? And then like, I don't know, the example that like they showed with it was this person who was, I think, in the line of a Walmart or something like that. And I never get why TikTok videos never actually show you the reference video, like ever. So it's like, this happened, and they show you 30 seconds that don't give you any context. And then I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
You're just talking about it, but I want my own opinion. Can I see it? And they're like, no, the video was deleted. And it's like, okay. Anyways, but the whole invisible audience,
yeah,
the whole invisible audience thing, just kind of like is interesting to me. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I feel like that's where a lot of fears come from. Like why a lot of people,
like anxieties.
Yeah, a lot of anxieties are brought up. It's because so many people are being something they aren't.
You know, and see, that's interesting because like, I forgot there is an actual word for the feeling. It's a specific kind of anxiety where you think that everywhere you go, everyone's watching everything you're doing.
Yeah.
But there's a word for it for one. Dylan, can you look it up just because I'm so curious?
I mean, it's not paranoia.
It's not paranoia, but there's a specific word for it. But the funny thing about it is that, like, everyone has that feeling.
Yeah.
So if everyone thinks that everyone's looking at them, no one's looking at each other at all.
Or everybody is looking at someone.
Yeah. It's that invisible audience thing coming in again. It's like,
yeah,
we're always being performative.
Yeah.
It goes into every little detail of your life. It goes into, like, job. It goes into how you dress, how you speak, how you do every little thing. And it's kind of like I want to say dystopian, but at the same time, we've always been like this.
Yeah. It's like a weird limbo, like an in-between, where if it's too much, it becomes dystopian. Mm-hmm. But if it's too less, you can kind of see that there's like a disregard of something.
Yeah. Like,
If you're wondering, it's scopophobia.
is gopophobia?
Scopophobia.
Scopophobia.
Kind of like a scope.
Okay.
Okay.
Scopophobia.
See, that's
I think
interesting. Scopophobia. S-C-O-P-E?
Obsessive fear of being watched.
Obsessive fear of being watched.
By, everything.
Anything.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So you hear that? Scopophobia.
We should make a scopophobia film.
Yes.
Like, that would be cool, actually.
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of perspectives in that.
The only thing that I can think of that did that was there was a movie with, I think, Bryan Cranston in it, where like he like was all like, "Oh, I'm off to work," and then instead of going to work, he had rented out the house across the street from his family, and then he went into the attic and watched them. And then he went missing on purpose. He just didn't go to work.
Interesting.
He didn't tell anyone where he was going because everyone thought he was dead or missing. And he literally just stays up in this attic watching them for years. Just like, wonder what they're going to do. And I was like, that is such like an anxious person thing to do, is to watch what people are doing. Like, oh, I wonder if I went missing, what would happen? But then like getting too committed to it.
Yeah, he literally
And then
did
he was like, I think like 10, 20 years, he sees his wife like remarried. And he's like,
I didn't expect that to go this
And
way.
then now it's like, what do you do at that point? He was just living in that basement. Everyone thought he was dead.
That's your life now.
I didn't actually see the movie. I just saw like the trailer for it. It might not even be Bryan Cranston, honestly.
I mean, I can kind of see Bryan Cranston playing a character
He does
like
do
that.
interesting characters. He does.
Yeah.
But if we made a Scopophobia movie, what would it be about? We're going to write it right here. Live.
I think it'd be along close to agoraphobia, where it's like someone's out in public and they constantly feel pressured into either doing something or not doing something because they feel watched.
What?
So it's always like decision making.
Playing on it.
Yeah.
Because like it's a fear, right?
True.
And like a fear, we can play on it as like a avoidance or like, oh, I need to play it up more.
Yeah.
And I feel like in a weird way, that whole invisible audience thing is just scopophobia. It's just like a sense of like someone could be watching.
Oh,
this.
dude, we could do certain scenes where he's like, you can tell that the character looks at the camera but isn't fully aware that the
like
camera is there.
Okay, I see what you mean. Like the audience watching is the invisible camera.
Yeah.
But it's literally not there in the film.
Yeah.
But then he's like aware of it at the same time. But like,
it's like not there, but it's there
Yeah.
to the character. But
Yeah.
everybody else is kind of just
like
like
literal invisible audience. That would be so sick. Actually, it's a really good idea. We're definitely like leave a comment if you think we should do this.
yeah.
Honestly, even if you don't leave a comment, we're probably gonna do it. But if you leave a comment, then you can say you influenced this decision.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yes, you can. You get pretty much credit.
You could be in the credits.
You could be in the credits.
Think about that. That's producer role.
Mm-hmm.
Producer role gets you so much. Like, name something that they get.
A lot of time.
They get what?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean time?
I mean, while everybody else is doing something, producers usually just get to sit back and just watch things happen.
That's true. They just get to put their name on something.
Yeah.
But
I
I
mean,
feel like
what's the benefit of that?
no one knows what a producer is. Honestly, like
A
producer's one
producer
of those
can be
roles.
anything at
I
this
know.
point.
It's just so funny. 'Cause
In the
like,
year of this year,
yeah,
producers can be anything now.
it used to be like producer used to be. Actually, I don't even know what it used to be because like now every time I'm like,
I
oh,
always
I'm
thought it
looking
was
for a producer.
management. Yeah, like
It's kind of just management.
yeah,
It's literally like, oh, organizing some stuff. It's maybe like being the person who's just bringing funds.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I have this house you can shoot at. Or like, oh, I have connections to actors and stuff like that. But there are producers who are like, oh, maybe, I guess marketing even?
yeah,
Producers? Because whenever I think producers now, I'm thinking of those like, celebrities. Like you have Margot Robbie was a producer for Barbie. You have Ryan Reynolds who produces like every movie he's in.
pretty much. Yep.
Which means like he gets to like have a say in the writing, but he's not writing it.
Yeah,
You have him being like, oh, I want this stuff in there. Like, 100% in Deadpool 3, Aviation Gin's going to be in there.
yeah.
It's got to be in there.
I think everything's gonna be in that movie.
I don't think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be like the others, where
I think it's going to be Fortnite the movie.
There's going to be some things that are good, but not the entire.
I feel like
film.
it's just going to be
aspects.
cameos
Yeah.
and like fan baiting so much that it's not going to have a plot or story at all.
Or it's going to be like it's so oversaturated, it's pushing a plot too fast.
Yeah, because like the biggest selling point is Wolverine. But like, what are they gonna do? Honestly, and like,
I think they're just going to lean back into the multiverse again.
They are. It's a multiverse movie, and like, I don't know, man. I think isn't it the first Marvel Deadpool movie?
Kinda. The second one was kind of like had some
I
like
think
Marvel
that was like the
inspiration
moment
characters.
where it was like, okay, it was like teasing, like, oh,
Yeah.
Deadpool's getting into Marvel. Maybe I think that was like
Yeah.
during their agreements and stuff like that.
But the third one is full on,
Yeah,
Marvel,
that's just Marvel,
straight Marvel,
which
project. We'll see
I
how
don't
that
have
goes,
good hopes
'cause-
for.
Yeah, because Marvel doesn't really have a.
Marvel has the budget and like the connections, but somehow they
They always fumble.
They
It's
always
the
fumble,
writers. They get writers who don't know much of the story.
it's because it used to be like about filmmaking and the passion, and now it's about selling.
Yeah.
But interesting about Deadpool is it goes back to our first thing we talked about is invisible audience.
Yes.
Deadpool literally always talks to the audience.
Yup.
And I just realized something. So, Film Bros, like the famous movies that the Film Bros always like fucking American Psycho, or even just Psycho, where you got, is it Psycho, the one I'm thinking of, the black and white?
Yes.
Okay, it's Psycho. Good. I want to make sure.
Film bro movie, but maybe.
It's a a little bit of film bro. I wouldn't say it's terrible film bro. Wolf of Wall Street. Those are all wall-breaking films.
Mm-hmm.
Invisible audience kind of films.
Yeah.
Even Barbie's kind of invisible audience kind of
Yeah.
film.
Fiction.
Pulp Fiction,
yes.
yeah. But it's just like those are all movies where the characters are talking directly to an invisible audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because we're watching that so much, and like social media is that, it is fundamentally changing our brains.
Oh, yeah.
To like constant performance. Constant performance.
Yes. The constant up performance too, because you know a lot of people have that feeling of needing to be better than one another.
Yeah.
So it's like it leads down like pretty much a path of hurting other people in a way, because you know you don't care what's in your way, you pushing it out of the way.
I feel like invisible audiences also greatly influence like my work even.
Okay.
I only say that because like I like to make whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I always, whenever I'm like really passionate about a project, I will just make it. I'll just be like working on it. But then whenever it comes to like thinking about who it appeals to, that always can get me because I'm like, I don't really like want to think about that exactly. Like I want to make a film that like I like.
Yeah.
But I think you can really tell a difference between a film that somebody likes
And
that
one
they're
that
making,
caters to you know.
yeah, that they're trying to cater to
Yeah.
an audience with, because like there's a passion versus a invisible audience. What would a better word for that be? Like a pandering, I guess.
I would just call it in a way it's kind of like a trend. In a way, it's like a continuation of a cliche.
True. Because like
It's commonly used.
yeah, it's commonly used, and it kind of just like it's
Mm.
like when the movie.
It
comes
depends
out.
on the writer. Honestly, it depends on the writer and
Yeah.
whether you know they push forward, whether the audience pushes the story forward or the character does.
Yeah, I feel like. Is there a movie that you can name that was like fan baity that like was still good though?
I feel like Hardcore Henry was on along the lines
Hardcore
of that.
Henry's such an interesting
It's
movie.
so
Actually,
like you can tell that it was mainly audience. It's catered to the
Yeah.
audience.
It's catered to like gamers.
Yeah.
entirely. It's just
Like,
video game movie.
Yeah, and it's like it throws you in the perspective of a video game character.
which is so cool. But then
Mhm.
like when you like stop to think about the plot, you're like,
It's not really there.
all right.
But there's an invisible audience type of feel to it.
Because
where-
well, in that case, you are the audience.
you are
the audience, and you're also Henry.
Yeah,
Which there isn't many movies like that, to be honest.
it's really hard to do movies like that because
Like a POV movie.
yeah, it's either. I mean, how can you make a POV movie without it being like really cringy? Like-
Honestly, that's a good point.
Because the camera angles you can do great.
Because it's not like found footage.
Yeah, no, it's more like
Because found footage feels like you are there, you're part of the audience, but you're also looking through the lens of like almost like the past in a way.
This is like you are there.
Yeah,
you
you're
are
there.
him.
You are the person who's going through it, and it's like it does take you on a trip.
Yep.
Also, I think just shooting it's probably just more difficult in general.
Oh yeah.
Just because like that hookup is a rig to the actor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think a part of that might be that actually, like the actor doesn't exactly have a role in a way.
No, he's
They're
kinda,
just a
it's like
stand-in for the audience.
It's a placeholder.
Yeah, so I guess
it's like a body that
yeah, it's just a body that we're
you
occupying in
project
a
into,
way.
yeah.
So I guess it just doesn't matter in that aspect. But now I'm thinking of movies that give me invisible audience vibes, especially like with social media. And the one that comes to mind is Spree.
Could you put Juno on along the lines of that?
How so? How would you?
It's more like an audience watching the story of somebody.
I feel like that's just what what's it called is it's like my genre that I
Yeah.
write for it. What's it
Okay.
called?
Slice of life.
Yeah, slice of life
Yeah,
kind
slice
of
of life
stuff.
stuff.
Slice of life,
Okay.
coming of age kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because it's relatable and it's like it feels like you're watching an actual character's story that could be someone
Makes
you know
sense.
or it could be you.
Yeah.
Spree is interesting because the entirety of Spree is shot through dogs barking. Apparently, it's shot through phone cameras, streaming GoPros,
Yeah.
and like security tapes,
Hmm.
which is really, really cool because the entire plot, which I don't know if you've seen Spree before. So Spree is about, I don't remember his name, but it's about this guy who is chronically online, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Chronically online, and he wants to be famous, to be seen. You know, that's what people want online.
Yeah.
In general, they want to be seen. So he's super cringy. Like, he's that guy who's like, follow for follow.
Okay.
How you doing, guys? And
Okay.
everything he does is like
He's that like
he's
YouTube
that
bro.
YouTube bro. But he's like on every platform like that.
Okay.
And so he wants to be big. He wants to be famous. But it's not working out for him. He's like 5 subscribers. He's like constantly posting. He posts every single day, doing whatever mundane thing. Joe Keery actually stars as him from Stranger Things.
Oh wow.
And it's funny because like the amount of passion they did put into the film is really interesting because something that I didn't. His name's Kurt.
Yeah.
The main character's name is Kurt, and
Okay.
his stuff is called Kurt's World. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about it is that they actually put a bunch of YouTube videos up
Oh wow.
from Kurt's perspective.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure Joe Keery, to get into character, he just made a bunch of these cringeworthy videos that you can still see today, where it's just like the weirdest stuff, but the most YouTubery stuff.
Oh.
You know, like trying water
Yeah.
and then rating water, and it's like, it's good. Anyways, guys, click that like and subscribe, and remember to like comment below and follow for follow, and then like a 20-minute segment of like
All right.
just plugins, and it's like, okay. Anyways, so back to the actual plot of the movie. A little bit of spoilers, but the plot of the movie is that, what do you think it's called Spree for?
I'm guessing he goes around and like online robs people.
You're close. So it's called Spree because he works for a drive ride-sharing app, right?
Okay.
I think it was just called Spree. I could be wrong about that. But essentially, he comes up with a plan where he calls it the mission or something like that. And he's like all cryptic about it. He's like, oh, guys, it's going to be so good. I know how to do it. And he's like so enthusiastic. And then he goes on a murder spree.
Oh, okay.
And he films
wow,
it.
that's a jump.
he films it. His entire plan is to literally go on this full-on murder spree and film all of it and live stream it. So he puts a bunch of cameras in his car, and he's like picking up people, and he's like killing them in different ways. And it's interesting because you do see that sense of the, you know, invisible audience thing, because he had no subscribers really before, but then as he's doing it, as he's killing people and he's live streaming, people are like, oh, this is fake, or oh my god, like, God, this isn't real.
Yeah.
But then he gets like thousands of followers, thousands of people are watching. He kills like a bunch of people. He actually kills his mom, which is it's a big spoiler because the way he kills his mom was before he even started it all. He just killed her, and you don't find out until the end of the
like,
movie.
oh, that was a good idea.
And he kills her because, like, from the beginning, he didn't plan on, like, surviving.
Yeah.
And the movie is crazy. There's a lot of, like, little stunt work there. And how they made Kurt is, like, that is a person that I have met online 100%. You know, you can go on YouTube and you can find someone who's like that. Kurt is really defined, in my opinion. The movie wasn't super popular, though.
Okay.
It was kind of like mid, and some people didn't really like it. I like the concept of it.
Yeah.
You know, the concept fundamentally was just like, oh, you know what? I see what they're going for here.
There's actually a similar one with Andrew Garfield.
I was just about to talk about that. It's called Superstar, isn't it? Popstar?
Mainstream.
Mainstream. God. I'm gonna talk about that next. Mainstream. But so in Spree, you have a guy who wants to be famous so bad he's willing to go to the ends of the earth, which is what people do now.
Yeah.
I keep seeing pranks of people going to Walmart and like pretending to break shit or steal shit or just do fucked up stuff. People on TikTok who are just doing dumb stuff because they're trying to get views. And it's like, people are really genuinely put to that level.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Spree came out years ago.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I would highly suggest watching Spree because it is an interesting movie and it puts a perspective on it. Some of it, I won't lie, it's very it gets points where it's just like, all right, like,
Yeah.
but I think Joe Keery is really great in it. His acting is so cringeworthy that it fits because it's supposed to be cringeworthy. I think that might have been one of the things. I remember reading a review and people were like, it's just so cringeworthy. I was like,
It's like that's kind of the point.
that's the point. The character isn't supposed to be likable. He's supposed to be a cringeworthy murderer, you know. But mainstream, right? Dylan off camera, he mentioned mainstream, which was my next thing to talk about. Before I do that, though, Jermaine, you've been silent because I've been talking over you. So,
Well, I don't know much about mainstream.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've seen it around.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen clips of it with
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield because I used to be a huge Andrew fan, so I followed most of the stuff he did. But I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I do know a little bit about it, and it's along the same lines as Spree.
It is, exactly.
It's literally a dude who wants to become famous and does literally whatever is possible
It's interesting
to
So,
become famous.
It goes a different route.
Yeah.
My gripe about it was that I feel like the pacing wasn't super
No,
great.
yeah, I agree.
Because, like,
There's some top parts that it really drags.
I thought you said you didn't watch it.
No, the clips that I've seen.
Oh, okay,
There,
yeah.
There's parts that, I kind of don't really want to watch the full thing.
I get that. It's just
There's sections that drag too much.
there, like the first half of the movie defines the characters, but then there's literally a switch, and then it's completely different.
Yeah.
One of the characters who kind of becomes a main character just is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not fully gone, but he's like not important anymore. And then like you get more in-depth story to what's actually going on. Like spoilers again. So Andrew Garfield's character meets, I forgot the lead's name. I forgot. I'm terrible with names apparently.
Yeah, I'm terrible with.
But
actors'
essentially,
names.
so she wants to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
And she makes these little videos. Doesn't really get a ton of views. Like kind of moderate, I believe. And then, she meets Andrew Garfield's character, who's this. I think he was homeless.
Yeah.
And he was like very flamboyant and super confident, but like a bit of a menace.
Yeah,
And people
something
like
was
that.
up with him. Yeah.
So then she just decides to record him and like his little monologues, and then immediately they get a TV show,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay,
That's
a bit much.
That was the biggest jump that threw me
like
off.
they did one video and
Yeah.
they got this TV show offer, and I was like,
I don't know about all that.
all right, like I would have liked to see a better buildup of that.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's like you could see them upgrading their gear, upgrading themselves, but it literally went that one video, and then next thing,
Yeah.
they had a full studio, and I was like, okay, come on. But still talking about it is
And it's kind of odd how that time jump and from even with the time jump, him as a person changing just immediately.
yeah, that was a bit weird, but I do like that they defined the character as he wasn't actually homeless. He was somebody who, like, in a way, was just a bit of he was using that
Yeah.
as like an almost, oh, woe is me, so that I can do more for myself, get like a little bit ahead by using this other side instead of
Goes
the
ape
wealthy
shit.
side.
Yeah.
But it also does really show that invisible audience thing. Well, I mean, it's an actual audience.
Yeah.
Where you're willing to abuse other people.
Yep.
You're willing to say anything and, do anything to be famous and keep your fame. Where even when you do something fucked up,
Yep.
you're going to blame someone else. You're going to blame your audience.
That was pretty much the whole movie was like him blaming
Everything
her.
else was
everything.
everyone else's fault.
Everything was either her or everything was like the people he encountered, and I was that was like that really showed me a different perspective of a character.
Yeah.
Because I was you get these villains that are or bad people or characters who mainly just do fucked up shit just to do fucked up shit, but he had an intention. And you could see it even when he's like in the beginning of the movie. Because if you watch the whole movie and you know how
You
it
see these
ends,
parts.
you can see, that he was playing it off the first
Yeah.
half.
And it's just overall, this entire episode is just be about invisible audiences and how
Yeah.
we're playing up stuff. But like those two movies, Spree and Mainstream, really do show just how willing people are to like go
Yeah.
to be famous.
Yeah. People are willing to drop really far down in order to
Like,
gain
you
some
can
type
just
of view. Any
Roll
audience.
on TikTok and
Yeah.
just see how far people are willing to go. Because you have the NPC streams.
Oh my God.
You have all this crazy stuff people are willing to do. Like, did you see NPC Miles Morales was getting arrested?
Yeah.
Like,
You're really pissing me off.
it's just like, it's not worth it, dude. It's not worth it. And
Yeah, but like it sucks that, even though like realistically sitting out there and doing that is not worth it, you get a monetary gain, which is
That's
it's
even
so
worse
weird that
about
it's
it.
doing weird, crazy stuff is more rewarding than doing something normal.
I know, but that's
Something
because
in
it's
terms of
it's
normal.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Because people are gonna watch. We it's a car crash. We
Mhm.
can't help but to look at it.
Rubbernecking.
Rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, it's so weird. It's like a human nature thing where it's like we just can't look away.
Yeah, gotta see what's going on. Gotta see what's
And
going
I
on.
feel like it used to be I mean, this is definitely why the internet really did kind of change how our brains work. It's back in the day, that every town had their old that one weird person,
Mhm.
but then now everyone else is the weird person.
Yeah, it's like the opposite. Now every town has
Kind
one or two normal persons.
Yeah, oh, I don't have social media, and now you're weird if you don't have social media.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's oh yeah, I put everything online. People are like, okay, and now you can just go on Facebook and your grandmother's posting
Everything online.
everything online, and it's just, who is that for exactly? I get it is supposed to be for friends and family, but at this point, it's not just for friends and family.
I'm guessing
everything's out there.
At one point, platforms like Instagram and Facebook used to do ads where it's like, oh, this is basically your public journal.
Yeah.
So they kind of fell deep into that of it being their diary in a way. Because there's some people who post really personal things on Facebook, and you could tell they run this platform like it's a diary.
Yeah.
And it's at one point Facebook was advertised that, but it completely changed now, and it's so different.
Everything is public.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's
being
way
seen.
more public than before. Way more.
And I feel in a way, because of that, because they know it's public, people are more incentivized to do that. Because it's if I get more attention, I'm gonna get more from this. So if I do something crazy and I put it out there, then I'm going to get the attention for it.
Yeah.
And it's damn, that's just what we're pushed to now.
Yeah, that really built a whole society of people.
And I mean, if you want to take a look at a perfect example, it's just YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is that, where every creator is I think I saw a video about this where they're saying that YouTube is switching over to a different kind of thing. YouTubers aren't as much of a thing. A lot of them are retiring. Matt, Pat. I mean, this is when that's coming out. You can see now. I dated it. But a bunch of YouTubers are retiring who, their content was, just about them in a way, and kind of doing things that anyone could do in a way. You just talking to a camera, talking to a computer. And now the thing that's big on YouTube is, I spent 1,000 days in the jungle with jellyfish stung to my asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of changing to this catering to an audience of shock value.
Yeah.
You almost do not care about the actual people who are doing it. You care more about the whole oh my God, they're doing something so crazy. I'd never do that, but they get a bunch of money. I'd do that. I do that for money.
Yeah.
I do that for attention. I mean, Mr. Beast. What do you think of Mr. Beast?
So in the case of Mr. Beast, it's kind of one of those good and bad things.
Yeah.
Where it's the things he does are good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the things to achieve those things are bad.
Yeah.
Because, I have no problem with doing good things and recording it, because there honestly needs to be people who see that.
Yeah,
because there are so many people, he gets shit where he's oh, he could have just gave them food or money and he didn't have to record it. But
him doing that is how he's making more money.
Not only is how he's making more money, it encourages more people to do the
that
same
kind of
thing.
content. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't see people going around giving food to the homeless or stuff like that,
you won't be as
you're not going
to do it.
Yeah, you're not going to be as open to it. So that's why I think he's in the case of good and bad. He shows good things that you can do. But sadly, there are bad things.
Extravagance about it.
Yeah, there's
the whole,
stuff that comes with it.
People do see that, and there are people who are oh, that's a nice thing. I want to do that. I want to do it forward. But then you have people who are I see that, and he's making money off that. I want money.
Yep.
I want this. I want the attention and fame. So I'm going to do that because of this reason.
He's basically, it's he's making two separate audiences. He's making an audience that wants to grow and help the world, and then an audience who sees the amount of money that they could be making. Because at the end of the day, if you actually look at his financials, he makes no money.
No.
He makes none. At the
No.
end of the
It's
day,
all put back into what he's
everything
doing.
he makes goes back into the projects
Mhm.
or even donations that he does. But that's a really like difficult method to keep up.
Oh, entirely.
Like very
like
difficult.
you must. I wonder what the mental strain is
Mhm.
for that, because the amount of videos that he does and produces a day
Yeah.
is like insane to me, and it like he did turn his channels into a compound,
Oh yeah.
into like a whole thing, and it's honestly amazing just like how far he went with it.
The legal team he must have, it must be massive.
They have to be,
Because
like
he gets like in spans of like we have projects that took like more than 3 months to get locations set
Mhm.
up, anything set up. This dude gets it in like a few weeks.
well, that's the thing. Is like
That's-
I'm pretty
That's
sure
impressive.
you gotta wonder how many is he doing.
Exactly.
Like how long is he planning in
Yeah.
advance? He's got to be planning like some stuff years in advance.
Mhm.
So imagine Mr. Beast retiring.
That'll be the day.
That's gonna be the day that the internet literally breaks.
Yeah.
The thing is, couldn't you just get another guy and just call him Mr. Beast?
I wish it was that
What
easy.
if he does that? What if he actually like he does the MatPat route where it's like he's building up this company and getting you to recognize some of these names and like this formula, because eventually Mr. Beast could just be a show just called whatever Beast.
Yeah.
Or, it's just an IP at this
I
point.
mean, Mr. Beast, the name alone could be applied to literally
you don't
anybody.
need him necessarily. Like I feel like here's a
He's
prediction.
definitely the face. Jimmy
Yeah.
is definitely the face of Mr. Beast.
I have a prediction.
If he wanted to, he could change it.
Couple years. It could be 2024, could be this year, or it could be like 2-3 years down the line or something like that. There's going to be a video. There's going to be starting videos where it's not him
Mhm.
in them. I don't know. Actually, no, they might already do that. I'm not caught up with Mr. Beast.
Neither am
to
I.
be honest. There's so much to like absorb that like I can't keep up with it. But there's going to be other people who are hosting the videos.
Oh, yeah.
Without anyone, no Mr. Beast in there. And then there's going to be shows with specific people, like specific like famous people, or it could just be one of the team or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's going to just branch out, because think of it that way. If Mr. Beast took a step back and started like, training a different host, he could have like 5 different hosts.
Yeah.
And then he could have 5 different things happening at once. That's 6 different people all hosting something. And he's doing like what? Maybe like 10 videos? That's like 60 videos that would be coming out. He could do like, imagine how many videos a day they could get out.
That's
They
like
have a whole
that's like
compound.
4 or 5 videos a day if they get that team like efficiently working.
Something I'm surprised about is the fact that they don't have a TV show, just entirely, like a network
Yeah.
even. They should be a Mr. Beast network.
I'm sure there. I mean, if the opportunities come, I don't see why he wouldn't.
Well, I guess because streaming platforms.
Yeah, that would be the only problem is whether he wants to be his own streaming platform or he wants to be
That would be
working with
interesting.
another.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's just crazy because like this just all goes to show how powerful an audience is.
It really gets you to going, man.
Mm-hmm. Because being seen really does influence whether or not how far someone's pushed, which is why I can understand why some people are like, disappear from online now, or like don't have social media, because like the influence of that really does a lot. Like, how many 2023 wrap ups or post a picture in your 2024 thing, like the Instagram stuff, like seeing that is like peer pressure now. Like literally, it's like,
Should I be doing that too?
should I be doing that? Should I post a picture or else bad 2024? And it's like, this has no weight in real life.
No.
Like you're going to post that, put your phone down, and in 5 minutes, you're not going to remember it. You're not going to remember it until you pick up your phone again and see someone else do it. Or you're checking your views for
It's
yours.
like it's the new version of photo albums now.
Yeah, just,
It's on your Instagram, so now everybody can see it.
and then it's gone after 24 hours, and
Yeah.
then you remember it a while later.
You won't remember it until it will remind you.
Yeah, Dylan says that you won't remember it until it reminds you.
Yeah.
And that's how our brains are from our fucking audience and our phone now.
Pretty much. I mean, like if you think about it, most things function exactly like our brain would function in a way.
I mean, it is the best computer,
Mhm.
if you think about it. So, yeah. We've been talking about invisible audiences and audiences in a general for a while. And you, as our audience, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, let us know down below.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Like,
let this stew in your brain and really contemplate it.
Give us like your own little insight. Like, how much does it affect you? You think your actions, or if you think it doesn't affect your actions, do you think like tell us about that?
Yeah.
Explain that to us.
How do you avoid that?
Right now, we're doing that. We are catering to our audience right now. We're reaching out to you.
We're grabbing you.
We're grabbing you. We're asking you. We're begging you. We're on our knees. We're begging.
You've been summoned.
You've been summoned.
But yeah, that'd be the end of the podcast. This is
All eyes on you. I don't know if we're gonna stick with that. We're probably not going to. I mean, the name "All Eyes on You" is gonna stick with, but who knows? It depends how I feel.
We gotta figure out the tagline. Yeah, let us know what you think the tagline might be.
I don't care if you say that we should change the outro. I will do whatever I feel like because
you have no power over me.
We're just doing it for fun. We're not doing it for gain.
Yeah, man. Have fun with the stuff you create.
Have fun with what you make. Don't make it about the audience. Make it about what you like. Yeah. That's what you should take away from this episode.
But don't make it about you. Make it about something you enjoy or something you've experienced.
Experience is good. Experience is good. Experience and perspective is good. Not literally like, God, my life is so crazy. Because, to be honest, your life probably isn't as crazy and interesting as you think. Just saying.
Yeah,
it might be. I could be entirely wrong.
Go see people overseas.
Yeah, go look how everyone else is living. Yeah. Think about that. Or, tell a perspective. Tell a story. Do something interesting.
Tell us a story.
Yeah, tell us a story. But, Jermaine, thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
Yeah, at my house.
Okay.